Paso a Paso podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Paso a Paso podcast. My name is Miles. Happy to be here back again with you. And today, our wonderful guests are from an organization here in Taos, located at the Taos Pueblo, called Tiwa Babies. And I would love for you to both introduce yourselves, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Good morning, Miles. Thanks for having us on. My name is April Winters, and I am a family support specialist for Tiwa Babies. So I've been working with the program for almost 8 years now, and I provide direct service to families here in Taos County. And our program serves prenatal up to age 5. Happy to talk a little bit more about what we do.
Great, thanks. Yes, April, thanks so much for being here. And Aspen is here as well. Would you like to say hello and introduce yourself?
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Aspen Maribal. I'm from the community of Taos Pueblo. I am a family support specialist, also known as a home visitor for Tiwa Babies program, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you both being here. I hate to call them memories, but at this point with COVID, fond memories of attending your meetings sometimes, and just the warmth that happens, as well as the really amazing discussion. To kind of get the basics out of the way before we dive into things you all would think we should talk about on this episode. Tiwa Babies, as you mentioned a little bit about the program. Can you just share how families are enrolled with the program, and what might be an example of a way in which someone listening might know if they are or aren't someone that could benefit from working with Tiwa Babies?
Well, our program serves everyone on the spectrum in parenting, from first-time parents to a parent that might be on their 4th child, even to grandparents that are raising grandchildren. Any caregiver who has children between the ages of 0 to 5 can join our services, and they are free. And we serve all of Taos County, so does not matter background. We provide the support and the guidance to families raising children in order to have the best outcomes for our little ones.
Great. And is there a website or phone number that you often put out there as the best way to get in touch?
So another way people can check us out is through our website, which is www.tiwababies.com. On the website, you'll see what we do, brief overview, some pictures, the staff, really cute. And then to get a hold of us through phone, that will be 575-758-7824, extension 112. And the main person doing the intake process would be Catherine Chavez, who is my supervisor. She would be the one that people would most likely be corresponding with. And then a piece that I'd really like to touch upon is our logo. So the logo is beautiful, and it's done by a man who's no longer with us from the Taos Pueblo. And this logo it represents a tribal person, right? A caregiver holding a baby. This person's brown. You have some beautiful tribal feathers and butterflies, the Taos Mountain and the Pueblo. Now, that might scream Native, right, to most everyone. However, I just want people to know that we don't just serve Native populations and ethnicities. We serve everyone, no matter who you are. So that's the beautiful thing about our program.
Yeah, I appreciate both of you clarifying all of that, and I just have I look forward to being able to join you again in meetings and such. When we think about, or you think about, the families you have worked with during your time with the program, what are some things that are kind of consistent that end up being discussed with the parents or grandparents you're working with through those years, as far as topics, just to give folks a sense of what that looks like, or what other people are going through?
Yeah, some of the common themes that we tend to discuss with families can range from anything that's child specific. So, conversations around behaviors and what the behaviors mean. developmentally appropriate expectations of a child. So just knowing kind of what to expect in their, not only their physical development, but their cognitive development, social emotional development. These are very trying times, especially with, the pandemic. A lot of children have been out of any type of childcare services, and so we've been able to provide a ton of support to caregivers around, the unique circumstances that the children are living in. And that's one conversation we've had a lot of in recent months, is just children are missing their friends. They're missing the life as we knew it pre-COVID. And so we provide a lot of support and discussions around just some of the challenges that families are living in with this current pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. Understandably, I'm sure that the experiences are broad and ever changing, and I'll say for myself as well, I'm continuing to learn the ways in which the longer that this goes on, I guess more important it is to be aware of the diverse effects it's having on everybody and in multiple layers. And that's why, as a community member, I think it's great that your program is there, among others, to support families, even in just kind of processing what's going on and having someone to talk to, because I'm sure that all the families are facing their own challenges. I appreciate you bringing up that a lot of kids haven't been in childcare or early childhood education for a while. The landscape's changing. When you think about Taos, how do you feel that it is a community with respect to growing up in for children? What are some strengths you think we have, and what are some things you'd like to see change in the coming years?
That's a really hard, difficult question, but I think I can answer it. As far as strengths go, I mean, look at where we live, right? We are surrounded by rolling hills and mountains, rivers and streams and springs, the hot springs, the gorge. So I feel like during this time, going into nature is one of the best things that we can do for ourselves, but for our children as well, so that they can develop a relationship with the land, because we're surrounded by it. Something that's really cool that my family's been doing is looking out at night, looking at the stars. Kids in cities, unfortunately, don't have that opportunity. But as far as change goes, man, I'd love to see more collaboration between the diverse communities. I think being in northern New Mexico, we have so much diversity, but a lot of times we don't know how to interact with each other. So we want to see your white kids coming to the Pueblo and watching our dances. We want them asking questions with our elders and eating our tribal foods, because, come on, we're just 2 miles apart most of the time. So as far as change goes, after COVID, let's see each other bonding more and mixing our colors and races and be more open and expansive in that way.
Yeah, no, I appreciate all that. I don't know if there's anything you want to add, April, but I did have a question kind of building upon what you mentioned, Aspen.
Just really quick, I think that, part of what makes Taos so unique is the strong supports that we have. And Paso Paso is definitely one of those that I believe has really pulled providers in the community together to partner to support one another in this work that we do, so that, we're trying to break from those silos of every program doing kind of their own thing, but rather building on one another and, just being a support to each other. And I think that really is something that is unique about Taos, that we're able to give families, this type of support through the good working relationships that we have within the programs of early childhood.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. And in our last few minutes here, and again, I apologize. These episodes go quickly, but I do hope to speak with you both again another time on a different subject, perhaps. But Aspen, you mentioned a little bit about, or you both did actually, about the ways in which kids are going through this process of COVID-19 and being separated from friends and situations that are more social. I have children, one of whom is 1.5 years old. Not so aware of what's going on likely, but definitely knows that he hasn't seen certain friends in a long time. And I've thought about that a lot, just with respect to developing social skills. It's just been a concern of mine around this time, and I don't know if either of you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, of course, trying to keep our bubbles so small, we do have to be very careful of who we interact with. But, the great thing is that parents, family members that are around these children can begin to model some of those early social skills that they might be getting while they're in a school setting. So, even like you said, with your 1.5-year-old, being able to play a game with them that involves back and forth, that's setting the foundations of those early concepts of how to share and engage in give and take in relationships. So, that's something that we remind families all the time, is that even though they're missing out on the school portion, there are things that they can do right at home that are teaching and building on these skills for our children.
Yeah. I think that's a good example of why I would encourage parents to reach out to Tiwa babies. We've covered the basics about how people can reach out to Tiwa babies and enroll. I know that for myself, I enrolled in a similar program with the timing being of when we were pregnant. If someone has a young child of a certain age, can they still kind of get involved with your organization? It's okay, basically, that they're not a newborn, right?
So Tiwa babies, we are open to giving our services to any caregivers with children, prenatal, newborn, 2 years old, 3 years old. It does not matter. If you've never received family support prior to coming into our program, that's totally fine. If you have a 3-year-old and you're curious about their development and you're like, I need help, call our program. We will support you and meet you where you're at, and most importantly, where your child is at. Miles, I'd like to really commend you for bringing us together and asking questions that are so I don't know. People tend to just say, hey, what's home visiting? Okay, bye. And you're really helping us expand. And I really love that. And I'm so glad that we're able to be heard on this platform. So I'm looking forward to coming back. I mean, are you open to that?
Yes, we would love to have you back. Wonderful. Again, just thanks to you both so much for the work you're doing and the support you're lending so many families and people of all ages in our community, and also the collaboration throughout all of our activities in the last couple of years and moving forward. Are there any last things that we didn't get to cover so far in our short time today that you both feel would be important to let folks know who are listening?
Well, we are enrolling families, so, please don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you, Miles, for giving programs like ours this type of platform to share, this valuable knowledge. And we look forward to meeting many more families in Taos County that we can hopefully serve.
Yeah. Well, thanks, and I do hope to speak with you both at some point again, perhaps on a topic that's close to your heart or that you feel is important to discuss in public, because as folks who've listened to this podcast in the past know, we kind of start with the basic episodes on different programs, then move on to certain topics from there and dig deeper over time. So thanks to you both for your time and skills and knowledge and what you're willing to share today. Wish you and your families both the best in these coming months. And again, thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you, Miles, and we look forward to talking.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Paso a Paso Podcast.